Andy got knocked out early this year at Wimbledon, but does have the most efficient service motion we have ever measured. He is the same size as Federer, Murray, and Nadal, but serves much faster because of his efficiency. We will measure the efficiency of Roddick's serve with our special Somax analysis system known as Russia, or RSSSA, which stands for Range, Sequence, Separation, Speed, and Alignment. In this video, we will concentrate on range, sequence, separation, and speed. First, we will measure range, or how far Andy turns away from the ball during his backswing. As you can see, his hips are rotated away from the ball 123 degrees, his shoulders 123 degrees, and his arm 127 degrees. Range is important in the serve because the more you turn away from the ball, the more time you have to get the parts of your body up to speed prior to impact. By taking speed measurements with a radar gun, we have discovered that you add a mile an hour to your serve for every degree you increase external arm rotation. Andy's maximum external arm rotation prior to impact is 127 degrees, the biggest we have ever measured on tour. Sharapova, by comparison, has only 104 degrees of external arm rotation, Berdych 90 degrees, Murray 89 degrees, Federer 79 degrees, and Nadal 79 degrees. For an efficient serve, you need a minimum of 50 degrees of shoulder flexibility, as you see in our client here. Tennis players launch their racket head in an orbit around their body. Satellites are launched into orbit using a multi-stage rocket. A tennis player is really a 5-stage rocket. Stage 1 is the legs, Stage 2 the hips, Stage 3 the shoulders, Stage 4 the arm, and Stage 5 the hand. A rocket launch and a serve are most successful if their stages are fired in sequence from the ground up. Roddick does have an efficient sequence. First, he fires his legs by extending them, then he rotates his hips, then his shoulders, then he rotates and extends his arm, and finally he rotates and extends his wrist. During a rocket launch, each stage separates, increasing the speed of the satellite. Roddick has good separation between his stages. As you can see, he extends his legs, Stage 1, and then rotates his hips, Stage 2, while his racket head is still going back. Then he fires his shoulders, then he extends and rotates his arm, Stage 4, and then fires Stage 5, his hand. Roddick has excellent separation between stages 4 and 5. Roddick also has the best hip speed on tour during the serve. We estimate hip speed by measuring the number of degrees of rotation prior to impact. As you can see, Roddick rotates his hips a full 123 degrees before impact. He is one of the few players on tour who rotates his hips all the way to the baseline before impact. By contrast, Federer stops his hips 30 degrees short, Berdych 30 degrees, Nadal 45 degrees, Murray 45 degrees, and Sharapova 45 degrees. Hip speed is important in tennis because it takes advantage of the hidden force multiplier built into every tennis player. The distance from the hip joints to the center of the body is 3 inches. The distance from the center of the racket to the center of the body is 48 inches. 48 divided by 3 equals 16. Any increase in hip speed is multiplied 16 times at the racket. It is the same lever system that enables you to fly a toy propeller. The distance from the outside of the shaft to the center of rotation is 1/8 of an inch. The distance from the tip of the propeller to the center of rotation is 4 inches. 4 divided by 1/8 equals 32. The speed with which you turn the center shaft is multiplied 32 times at the tip of the propeller. This is why you can't get the propeller to fly by turning the propeller blade. There is no force multiplier in the propeller blade, just as there is no force multiplier in the arms. This is why lifting weights does not really help service speed. To increase your service speed, increase the strength and speed of your hip rotator muscles with the Power Hip Trainer. To serve over 150 miles an hour efficiently and effortlessly, you need a minimum of 50 degrees of external arm rotation, 24 inches of back extension, and 50 degrees of internal hip rotation. Of all professional athletes, tennis players are the least efficient in the use of their hips. Baseball players, for instance, hit the ball over 450 feet by rotating their hips well before impact. Our golfer here is driving the ball 1,125 feet by rotating his hips 120 degrees prior to impact. To increase the speed and efficiency of your serve, measure and increase your shoulder and hip flexibility, and test and increase the strength of your hips.